I have a story for you today. It's called Lyle at the Office. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Lyle Crocodile, but he is one of my favorites. This story is written by Bernard Waber. See the cover? He has a pencil sharpener like we do in our classroom. All right, here we go. Just think about a crocodile in the office. Everybody thought Lyle the crocodile was funny. Not silly funny or funny looking, just plain funny. It's the picture. And wherever he went, Lyle always made people smile and forget their troubles. At the supermarket, shoppers perked up the instant they saw Lyle. "We should offer Lyle a job," said the store manager. "Then we could always count on having happy customers." There he is, shopping. In the park, frowns turned to big smiles the minute Lyle appeared, especially when he performed his tricks. "Do you suppose Lyle would consider working for us?" asked the parks commissioner. "Our parks can use more cheer these days." And once a man wanted to use a smiling picture of Lyle in a toothpaste advertisement. "Listen to this," said the man. "Smile like Lyle. Now isn't that catchy?" "No, thank you," said the Prims always said, politely but firmly. Lyle is happy with his life just the way it is. He didn't want to have a job. No, he didn't want to do that. Here are the pictures. Here you go. Lyle was happy, all right, living with Mr. and Mrs. Prim, their children, Joshua and Miranda, and his dear mother, Felicity, or Nurse Felicity as she was known at the hospital where she worked. Lyle loved to entertain the family, as he did one night, parading about the house in a pirate costume he would soon be wearing on Halloween. Ooh, that's a nice costume. It was a joyful house, made even more joyful by the arrival of little baby Miranda. Lyle adored showing off pictures of Miranda, and he almost burst with pride and did 3 somersaults when his name was among the first words Miranda learned to say. "Lyle, Lyle," she would coo to him. Yes, it was a good life, especially for a crocodile. There she is, little Miranda. And good things were always happening. One day, Mr. Prim took Lyle along for a visit to his office. Mr. Prim knew how eager Lyle was to visit and how much everyone at the office wanted to meet Lyle. Lyle gleefully waved goodbye as the two set off for work. As usual, morning traffic was heavy. Oh, look at all those people. All the people in their cars. After much beeping and honking, Mr. Prim and Lyle finally arrived at the office building. It was fun going through the revolving doors. Lyle went round and round and round. He loved pressing the elevator button. Up, up, up he went. Can you imagine if you went to an office building and you saw an alligator there? Everyone in the office was so happy to see Lyle. Lyle quickly made himself useful, sharpening pencils, delivering memos, and operating the copy machine. He made so many friends, they all commented on his manners. Lyle even sat in on a meeting that was very important. He enjoyed an excellent lunch and delightful company in the office cafeteria. Lyle had 2 slices of pizza and an orange drink. Oh, that looks like a very nice cafeteria. Best of all, Lyle visited the company's daycare center. He spent much of the day joyfully playing with and amusing the children. Look at this picture. Looks funny. But when it was time to say goodbye, the children cried, "We want to stay with Lyle. Please, Lyle, promise to come back." And some of the parents. And sadly, Lyle waved goodbye to the children and returned to Mr. Prim's room. Mr. Prim was busy trying to think up new ideas for crispy, crunchy cracker cereal. That was Mr. Prim's job, thinking up ideas. But at the moment, Mr. Prim had no idea whatsoever, absolutely none. Sometimes you just can't think what you want to do. That was happening to Mr. Prim. Feeling rather empty, Mr. Prim shared a sample box of crispy, crunchy crackles with Lyle. Pop, crunch, crackle, crackle, crunch. Although Lyle tried to be quiet about it, everyone was startled by the loud popping, crunching, crackling sounds he made chewing crispy, crunchy crackles. He has a lot of what? Pop, crunch, crackle, crackle, crunch. Even Mr. Big, who was Mr. Prim's boss and a busy person at that, heard him chewing all the way down the hall. "Who is making that racket?" shouted Mr. Big. Mr. Big quickly discovered it was Lyle. Who was making that racket? He was so surprised. "Does Lyle really like eating crispy, crunchy crackles?" asked Mr. Big. "Of course," said Mr. Prim. "Doesn't everyone?" Suddenly, Mr. Big's face lit up. It lit up the way it always lit up whenever Mr. Big had a brainstorm. That's it, said Mr. Big. "Our new slogan will be, everybody but everybody loves crispy, crunchy crackles, and we'll put Lyle's picture on the cereal box." "How's that for a terrific idea?" said Mr. Big. Do you think it's going to work out? Let's see. What's your prediction? "Oh, no," said Mr. Prim. "Oh, yes," said Mr. Big. "But you can't put Lyle's picture on a cereal box," said Mr. Prim. "And why not?" said Mr. Big. "Because, well, Lyle is a very private crocodile." "Nonsense! No such thing as a private. I'll call the photographers at once." "This is dynamite," said Mr. Big. Oh, look. It says, "Crispy, crunchy crackles. Yum, yummy, yum." "I can see it now," said Mr. Big. Lyle smiling, holding a bowl filled with delicious, nutritious, crispy, crunchy crackles in one hand and a gleaming spoon in the other, saying, "Yum, yum, yum, yum. Oh, how I love my crispy, crunchy crackles." What's your feeling on this, boys and girls? Is it good? Or is it? Let's see. "Lyle will never say yum, yummy, yum, yum," said Mr. Prim, "nor will his picture be on a cereal box." "We'll discuss it all later," said Mr. Big, dialing the photographers. "We won't ever discuss it," said Mr. Prim, walking out with Lyle. "We'll see." "Uh-oh. Where are you going with Lyle?" said Mr. Big. "Prim, come back here. Prim, Prim." "Sir, consider yourself dismissed." Fuming, Mr. Big shouted after them, and there And that goes for your crocodile too, he added rather foolishly. Oh, Mr. Big is mad. I think he's used to getting his own way. When the family heard about it, Joshua thought it might have been really neat and great for the kids to have Lyle's picture on thousands of cereal boxes. But Mrs. Prim definitely agreed with Mr. Prim. No cereal boxes, she said, and no job, said Mr. Prim. We'll all do just fine, thank you, said Mrs. Prim. And the family did do just fine. Each soon found a way to earn money. Joshua walked dogs. Lyle took plant sitting jobs. Felicity put in extra hours at the hospital. Mrs. Prim worked late into the night in her new home office. She wrote about new books for neighborhood newspapers. And every day Mr. Prim looked for a new job. Meanwhile, back at the office, everyone missed Mr. Prim, even Mr. Big. And the daycare center children kept asking for, Lyle. More cheerfully, the family had so much looked forward to Halloween, and at long last the big night arrived. Remember, he was going to dress up as a pirate. Lyle finally got to wear his pirate costume. Joshua dressed up as a monster, and Miranda was an adorable little witch. Mr. and Mrs. Prim and Felicity accompanied them trick-or-treating. Here they are, all dressed up. So nice. Trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat, they called out as doors swung open and their bags filled with Halloween goodies. Trick-or-treat. But there was one doorbell they dared not ring. That bell belonged to the run-down, gloomy house they were just passing. What a pity, said Mrs. Prim about the house. It's been empty for years, said Mr. Prim. That's because it's haunted, said Joshua. Everybody knows there are ghosts inside. Ghosts. Lyle's eyes widened. And do you know what? Joshua went on. Cries for help have been heard coming from inside the house. Oh, Joshua, said Mrs. Prim. Did she believe him? No, she did not. Mrs. Prim was about to add, that's just gossip, when suddenly, in fact, they heard cries for help. Coming from the house. What was that? Asked Mr. Prim. Help! Help! Those are real cries, said Mrs. Prim. Hello in there, called Mr. Prim. Help! Help! A voice called back, even though he was scared silly of ghosts. Lyle pushed in the door only to discover... Mr. Big! But what was Mr. Big up to now? Well, at the moment, it seemed he was busy clinging for dear life to a ceiling light fixture. Help! Help! Cried Mr. Big. My ladder has fallen and I can't get down! Lyle set the ladder upright and helped a very shaken Mr. Big come down. Oh, Lyle, everyone, thank you, and said Mr. Big. You saved my life. I was here all alone, putting light bulbs in this house, which I will soon be moving into. When? You are moving into this house, they exclaimed. Everyone was so surprised. Well, welcome and good luck in your new home, said Mr. Prim. Thank you, said Mr. Big. And good luck with your ghosts, thought Lyle. Day after day, the family watched Mrs. Big's house being renovated. What does renovated mean? That means it's being fixed up. Before long, the old neglected house was sparkling bright. It looked so nice, Lyle began to wonder if it was still haunted. One day, a letter from Mr. Big arrived at the house on East 88th Street. Mrs. Prim read it. Dear Prims, and dear Lyle and Felicity, please come to my housewarming party. It's next Saturday afternoon at 2. And the letter was signed, your new neighbor and friend, I hope. Alwyn Power Big the Third. P.S. You can call me Al. And here they are. Everyone from the office came to the party, and most especially the daycare center children. It's a fun party. Please consider coming back to work, Mr. Big said to Mr. Prim. We need you and miss you. And we'll forget all about having Lyle's picture on cereal boxes. Gem of an idea, though it was. And oh, most important, we would certainly expect many more visits to the office from Lyle. Everyone smiled, especially Lyle. The end. So that was a fun story. Very nice. Very nice. So I hope you enjoyed the story, Lyle at the Office. And I enjoyed reading it to you. I hope you're doing some great things at home with mom and dad, staying safe, and I will see you soon. Take care.